Hello. Howdy. Hi, everybody. Sam Goodman. Really fucking scary stories, bringing you a preseason episode. We are nearing the beginning of season 3. Can you believe it? We're here. Season 1, done in the books. Season 2, done in the books. All the preseason, postseason stuff that we started with season 2, we're continuing with season 3, and here we are. 1, 2, 3. We are getting ready. We're doing the build-up for season 3. And as you know, we got a lot of great feedback about doing the preseason, postseason stuff. So here we are. We are doing it again. But before we jump into this here shindig, do me a favor, head over to www.palehorsemedia.co. You know that we're coming to you from the Pale Horse Media Co. studios here in the sunny and the beautiful and the creepy downtown Phoenix, Arizona. You can follow along with this podcast. You can listen to it there. You know, if you're looking for a way without, having your phone on, you're at work, you're trying to pretend like you're busy and stuff, and then you can go to palehorsemedia.co. You can click on the podcast, any of our podcasts like The Hop Nerd or Hey Y'all, Sam Goodman, or like this one, Really Fucking Scary Stories. You can open it up in the background. You can throw in your headphones. You can put that Word doc over it and pretend like you're super duper busy, while really, in fact, you're just listening to all things creepy, all things macabre. You're listening to me scream about the paranormal and about true crime stuff. It's a win-win, right? It's just a total win all the way around. You get to tune in. I get to scream into your ear holes. You get to kill some time, get to pretend like you're busy, and it keeps you from maybe like strangling your boss, or it keeps you from like yelling at coworkers, or those folks that annoy you at work. It just makes it awesome. And if you want to support the show and you want to get a really sweet like t-shirt or hat out of the deal, you can go to our merch store there. It's super duper cool. We have all kinds of cool t-shirts. We try to upload new designs regularly, come up with new stuff. And if you've listened to any of the podcasts, I'm a nerd. I like good kind of t-shirts. They're the right material. Same thing with hats. And we've got high quality stuff there. I try all that stuff out. So I'm that guy. I'm the guy. I rock my own merch. I know, loser alert, but I love it. I love the t-shirts. I try to make stuff that I want to wear, and if I want to wear it, I feel like maybe you want to wear it. So you can check that out. And if you're looking for a more cost-efficient way to show love and support for the pod, you can just scroll on down, and whatever you're listening to us in, give us a rating, give us a review, show us some stars, show us some love, share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your frenemies. Go copy a link to the episode or to the main podcast, throw it over on your Facebook, over on your LinkedIn. If you want to share with your LinkedIn fam, you can go over and put it on your Instagram, anything like that. And speaking of all those things, you can find us pretty much on all of those social media platforms. You can search Sam U. Goodman over on Instagram. It'll come up as Sam the Hop Nerd. Or you can find me on LinkedIn, same thing, Sam Goodman. You can search Pale Horse Media Co. On and on and on and on. And the great thing about that is then you have the opportunity to slide into the DMs and you can chat with us. If you had a brush with the paranormal, a brush with a true crime experience, or you just have a really weird, wacky, and macabre and creepy, or just strange fucking thing that's happened to you, we'd love to hear about it. You can come on the pod, share your story, or if you're uncomfortable with that, if you get a little nervous, a little shy, we can gladly share it for you. Or if you have stuff for like Q&A or ideas for episodes, or maybe even people that might have a story that you know of, then you can connect us, all that kind of sort of stuff. We would love to hear from you. Those conversations just make my day. I love getting to chat with all of you. You're the ones that make this possible. All that love, all that support, all that stuff that we just talked about, whether it's a t-shirt, it's a review, it's sending us a message, all of that stuff quite literally helps us keep the lights on around here. It literally allows us to bring you these seasons, bring you the content from the other podcasts on a regular basis. It just makes all of that possible. So we're always appreciative of it. Appreciative of it. There we go. I'll get some words out. I'll make some words, make words sound like words at some point. Pronunciation kills me sometimes. But that's how you know it's real. That's how you know it's unscripted. That's how you know it's unedited. Other than like a couple notes, we just freaking run with it. And you seem to enjoy that. I know I enjoy it because I'm lazy. I don't like to edit. I don't like, it's just not me. But today, in today's preseason episode, let's get back to that. That's the reason why you're here. You're here for that freak show that is known as Really Fucking Scary Stories. Today, we're going to talk about a haunted place. We're going to talk about Denver's very own Cheesman Park. Okay, so let's do it. And I try to keep these preseason episodes a little shorter than the main episodes. They're just a taste. They're just an appetizer to kind of tie us over, to tie my need to scream these things to you and your need to listen to me scream these crazy stories to you, to tie us over in the meantime until we get to season 3. So we'll try to keep it a little shorter than the main. And I know I promised that. I promised that in other podcasts too. And I'm just long-winded. I think maybe you figured out. Maybe I like to talk a little bit. Maybe that's why I do podcasts. I don't know. Well, but let's see what happens. So Cheesman Park is one of Denver's oldest neighborhoods. It's a small, densely populated area bordered by Colfax Avenue on the north, York Street on the east, 8th Avenue on the south, and Downing Street on the west. Besides being named one of the hottest neighborhoods in Denver in 2016 by Redfin, the neighborhood is considered very bicycle friendly, coming in at number 3 as the most bikeable neighborhood in Denver. And it has a great walk score as well if you're interested in moving to a beautiful, and it is beautiful. If you go look up the pictures of this area, it is absolutely beautiful. Much of the neighborhood is taken up by the 80-acre Cheesman Park, and that's the place that we're mostly going to be focused on, the park itself. And it was named after a Denver businessman, Walter Scott Cheesman. And I'm hoping, I'm going to Cheesman because it's a spelling. I hope it's not like Chessman or something wonky like that, because it is spelled Cheesman, and we're sticking with Cheesman. And I hope that Walter Scott Cheesman was a connoisseur and producer of fine cheeses. That would be the fucking best. But it just seems like, just looking at it, it's just a park. It's like a normal gigantic park where they do all kinds of like parky things. They have big get-togethers. They have parades. It's the starting point for the annual Pride Parade and the home to the AIDS Walk Colorado. So a lot of really like great things kind of happening in the park. But let's get into, we started off on kind of a friendly note, and now let's just take this like a sharp turn right into fucking crazy, scary, weird shit. So in 1859, the Mount Prospect Cemetery opened on 160 acres of land in the brand new city of Denver. At the time, cemeteries were similar to today's park. There, people would go and walk. They would go have weekend picnics at the semi. We're going to the semi. We're going to the cemetery, and we're going to have a picnic. Bring the kids. Bring the picnic a basket. It will be freaking awesome. The land that was chosen for the cemetery was therefore some of the most desirable open space in the area. They're like, that looks pretty. Let's bury dead people there, and then once we bury them, we can go ride our bikes on the weekend. It'll be fucking cool. It was founded on the highest point in the vicinity with sweeping views of all the land around it. So back to the point of this place being pretty damn pretty. Mount Prospect, again, words. I'll figure words out one of these days. Mount Prospect was busy for years, but as new cemeteries were built closer into town, it became less and less practical place to be buried. By the 1800s, it just became run down, and the city wanted to turn it into a normal park, a less corpsey park. Because of a provision with land sale, Congress had to approve the transition, which they did on January 25th, 1890. So it's like, okay, we got a corpse park. We want to turn it into more of a park for the living. At some point, there was there was the shift in kind of feelings around just hanging out in the semi. So we want to go over and turn it into a more people-y park. But at the time, Congress, of all things, had to get involved to make that transition possible. But now they needed to move more than 5,000 bodies that were buried there. The city first offered the families of those who were buried there a free plot at another graveyard. After several years, only about 700 bodies had been moved. To move the rest, the city hired an undertaker named E.P. McGovern. So this is where we're going to, we took that sharp turn into the creepy. Now we're going to just go pew, and we're going to crash it into the fucking creepy ground. McGovern's contract was for $1.90 per coffin. So he came up with quite the, let's just go with sinister. Maybe it's not so sinister. Maybe it's just really fucked up. But he came up with a sinister plot to make more money. McGovern is infamously known for dismembering bodies and then splitting up body parts into different coffins. More bodies, less coffin, more money. You kind of get where that's going. Soon there were body parts and discarded coffins just thrown all over the park. So just go chill. There's just an arm, just an old coffin, Shit's just scattered. It's just dead people, no big deal. And at this point, the city's like, we got to fucking do something. This isn't working. McGovern was pulled off the job after he'd removed about 1,000 of the remaining bodies. Instead of hiring someone else to finish the job, the city just said, leave them. Yeah, you heard me right. So they just pulled off the headstones. So they just pulled off the freaking headstones. So if I'm doing my redneck math here, so there's about 700, right? So then McGovern pulled out about 1,000. So yeah, that leaves us at about 3,000 folks, 3,000 souls that are still interred under Cheesman Park. So they're there. Slowly, the graves were mostly forgotten about, and normal parky kind of construction began. The modern layout of the park, it really encompasses a portion of the land that was part of the original cemetery. So that leads us to kind of where we're at. Let's like go back and like recap. God, today, what am I doing? Let's go back and recap. Let's recap kind of where we're at. So cemetery. Okay, this is a great place for a cemetery. Looks super pretty. Most desirable piece of land in Denver as it was founded, right? Let's just build this massive cemetery here. Epic cemetery. At the time, people were cool with that. They're like, okay, cemeteries are just a park with dead people in them, right? That's kind of sort of what it is. Cemeteries can be absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, right? I mean, go tour any cemetery, and especially like really old cemeteries. I think about where I grew up kind of in the South. You kind of have these big sweeping old cemeteries from way back there somewhere, and they're beautiful, right? So people at the time, they were not that creeped out about going and hanging out in the cemetery. They're just like, we'll take the picnic basket, we'll take the kids, we'll take the car up there, we'll have a great time, we'll bring some bicycles, we'll go toss around a ball, kick around a ball in the cemetery. It'll be awesome. But then things kind of shifted, and they're like, we want this cemetery to be less cemetery-ish, and we want to turn it into more of like a normal non-dead people park, less corpses. And they started down that path. They offered some incentives to move out, right? To move out your deceased loved ones. And not many people took them up on that. They hired McGovern, who was like, fuck yeah, this is a great opportunity to make a bunch of money by hacking up bodies and just doing a really shitty job and basically overcharging, and yeah, just not good. So then the city just lands on the fact that they're just going to leave the dead at rest. But they're going to piss them off by going, let's just pretend like you're not here, and ripping off all of the headstones, all of the grave markers. I don't know about you, but, and again, coming from even being a skeptic, that just doesn't seem like a great idea. If you have any ounce of belief, and if you followed along with any type of kind of like ghost adventure-y paranormal shit, you would probably come to the same conclusion that I am right now of like, that's probably a really bad idea, or maybe a really great idea if you want to create ghosts. If you want to make people at rest, now move to the box of being at unrest. So due to the area's creepy past, it's commonly recognized as one of the most haunted places in the entire state of Colorado. Ghostly encounters are reported in the park and several of the surrounding homes. In fact, the horror film The Changeling was inspired by the paranormal activity that the writer experienced while living in a mansion in Cheesman Park. There are tons of ghost tours and stuff, so if you want to go hang out in that area, there's a lot of great stuff that you can go and do and tour, and you know, I'm a paranormal traveler. I like when I'm like traveling around, I don't necessarily just seek it out unless it's just for, you know, like maybe the pod. We've done that some back in season 1. So if you haven't listened to season 1, go back and check that out. You know, season 3 is coming. You need to get up to speed on 1 and 2 before you dive into 3. Let me know what you think about them when you do. But if I'm kind of traveling and I'm like, ooh, that looks creepy, I'm going to go buy the ticket for that. I will. So if I'm ever around this area in Denver, I'm going to go check it out. And I can't really say much. I'm here in Phoenix. It's really not that far. So maybe this might be something on the paranormal bucket list, but tons and tons and tons and tons of hauntings. So the whole thing here, you know, in addition to kind of the really creepy haunted part that we're talking about, right, is that if you do go, and if you didn't know, right, let's just say that. If you didn't know this story, you wouldn't know. And the really like macabre thing of McGovern hacking up bodies and all that horrible shit just to make an extra buck, being super disrespectful. And I get the city's perspective, but again, like there's a bunch of people there that were people and now they're just kind of forgotten, right? But that's kind of not so respectful too. Again, we're coming up with the perfect concoction for creating, I don't know, bad shit happening in the paranormal world. All that stuff is really macabre, really